Hello, 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 influencers. Hello. Listen, guys, we are back. Hello for your Wisdom Winning Wednesday message. Excuse me. For your Wisdom Winning Wednesday message. And I am super, super, super excited to share the platform tonight with the amazing Shelley Strawberry Johnson, as that's her name on Facebook. But Lady Shelley Johnson, tonight we're going to be speaking to the topic, wounded but not broken. Listen, guys, y'all know how I do. Wednesday nights come from Bible study. I am so filled up. When I tell you I am so filled up. But before we bring Miss Shelley on, I just wanted to play this chorus to this song, right? No, I do not own the rights to this music, but this is one of the songs I wanted to share with y'all. No. Listen. So listen, the song says, I just want to make you proud of me, right? And it goes on to talk about the superhero and all of this stuff. But anyway, tonight, listen, I don't want to love nobody but him. Now, I don't know. I want to love some other people, but my greatest love should be for the love of the Father. So without any delays, we are going to bring Miss Shelley on. You all know the drill. If you're on here, do us a favor, share this live out. This is Wow Inspired, and you know we are here to simply inspire the influencer in you. WOW is an acronym that stands for Wisdom Optimizes Winning. So Miss Shelley has a story that she wants to share with us. She has a special announcement she wants to share with us. So join me as I welcome her in on this live tonight. Shelley, I don't see the ad, so if you can send me an ad request, that would be amazing so that we can get you on. Listen, guys, I am super, super excited about what is about to transpire in the earth realm. Listen, when I say Bible study was amazing, it was amazing. Shelley, if you can send me hello there, Lynn. Shelley, there we go. Y'all welcome, join me in welcoming Miss Shelley Johnson. Woo! So, join me in welcoming her. I am accepting the request. The devil is a whole liar. Saying no answer from the guests. So, this is weird. Say no answer from the guests. Shelley, I keep approving, and it keeps saying no answer from the live guest. However, y'all bear with us. We are going to get her on. Listen, Saturday's live was amazing. We spoke about the maintenance. Hello, Miss Johnson. We spoke on, we had Miss Lady Kimberly. I'm not sure why I keep saying no answer. Shelley, please. Keep saying no answer from the guest. So Shelley, I am going to send me that again. So Saturday we had Miss Kimberly Cleveland on. She's the wife coach, and she spoke to the topic, understanding the ministry of preparation and maintenance, and how it's important to understand that there is a process. Hello, Jenna. How there is a process to preparation and in bringing Shelley on now.
Hi.
Welcome, and welcome. First of all, I just want to say thank you, Miss Shelley, for accepting the invitation to come on the Wow Inspired broadcast to speak to the topic, wounded but not broken.
My pleasure.
You know, we have been in the Peace and Priority series, and we have been speaking about relationships, and we have been speaking about so much. But tonight, our focus is on the topic wounded wounded but not broken. So I'm going to actually just step out the way, turn it over to you, allow you to introduce yourself, and just kind of jump right into the topic. As you know, I'll kind of ask questions. Anyone that's viewing this live, if you would share this out, if you have questions, please, please, please post your questions. We are definitely going to come back to them. So we thank you all for tuning in. For those that are viewing for the first time, please let us know where you're tuning in from. So Shelley, without any further ado, it's over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for everyone that's chimed in. Please share. First, I would like to give an honor to God, and then I would like to thank you, Shay, for inviting me. It was an honor when I received the message that you wanted me to come on. It was a great honor. So I do want to thank you, too. And it was a pleasure meeting you a year ago.
Yes.
At the Beauties to brunch. I met some new friends and I had a good time, and I actually kept in contact with a couple of you ladies.
Yes.
But jumping into it, just giving a little bit of history about myself. A mother of 3 amazing young adults. I have a grandbaby, which I refer to as Princess Brielle. I'm an educator for Somerset County Public Schools. As well as I am a certified minister.
Amen.
I became an Amazon best-selling author back in March.
Go ahead, honey.
I work as the program coordinator for Fiji for the Kids mentoring program here in Somerset County, as well as the founder of Women with a Divine Purpose. And most people know me from Boss Up Networking. So with jumping into our subject, this for me, when the invitation was sent out, it hit home because I'm right in the middle of publishing my first personal book, which is titled Wounded But Not Broken. And being a woman that was married in her early teens and having children early, it kind of touched home, not only talking about relationships as far as your marriage or having a spouse or a boyfriend, but even your relationship with God, your relationship with your people on your job, and your relationship with your children in general. And not really touching a lot on the context that's in my book, because I want you all to support me in the fall when my book drops. But I do want to give you all a little bit on the realm of it, which pretty much we all know that when you're wounded, I think of a scab that you want to heal. So if you fall and you scrape your knee, so I'm thinking along them lines. And being broken is when so basically like a wound is an injury to me. And then when you're broken, I'm more so thinking of being damaged, or as a person being walked over, or giving up hope, like someone just snatching everything from you. So after studying the Word of God, which is along the lines of the book, it brought me to different characters, even Christ himself, all the wounds that he had to endure to save us from the things that we had to go through, the things that we have to face in life, and the thorns going on his head, and they wound his hands, they wound his feet, they pierced him, they stabbed him, they wound him. And it brought me to some of the people in the Bible, and I thought about how their wounds and how they went through things. And a lot of times in life we go through things, and people can snatch our self-esteem, they can snatch our our self-respect. Even with our children, sometimes the disrespect and everything, they're wounds. But it's basically God coming back, and those wounds, he's taking those wounds and he's putting scabs over them, and he's cutting out the infection, because he wants to take those wounds, because without those wounds, we don't have a story. So
we don't have a story.
So without going through the early marriages and learning how to be a wife, and once you learn how to be a wife, and then experiencing the bad relationships and how to get through that, and get through that with children, and to get through that and still wear a smile on your face and being a public figure without people even knowing what you're going through. Because when actually I started to share my story, people couldn't believe it because I held it in because he was healing me from the inside. So it wasn't something I needed to make a lot of noise about. It was something that I had to
Right.
deal. It was a personal relationship. So in the book, I talk a lot about relationships and on the spiritual realm, and I think a lot about the woman with the issue of blood.
Come
Um,
on.
and how she was wounded because she was depressed, she was sick, but God fixed her. So that was a wound. She wasn't broken, even though she was going through
Right.
things. And a lot of times we could be going through things that other people are going through, and we might think we're the worst, and then it's always someone that comes back that's going a little bit
Most
deeper,
often not.
worse off than
Yeah.
us, worse off than us.
So so it's this is just amazing, right? And one of the things that I was speaking to a friend of mine today, and I shared with them a lot of times we as a people, we say, God, you have purposed me for the promise, right? And most of the time when we speak a promise, we're speaking the
Mhm.
end of a thing, right? We want to be
Mhm.
purposed for the promise, but we won't say, God, you purposed me for the process. In order
Right.
to get to
Right.
the promise, in order to get to the end of a thing, you have to go through a process.
You have to.
But the problem with us as people, we get caught up in the process and we say, you know what? I just thought that I was just supposed to arrive at the end of this thing.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
don't want to deal with the emotion that comes with me going through the process. I don't want to deal with the wounds that's going to come with me going through the process. And
Right.
our God is so good, right, Shelley?
Mhm.
That
Yes.
when you start to speak and tell your story, people are like, "Who you? You went through that?
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
don't believe it." He is so good because he will hide us. He will allow us to remain behind the veil to go
Mhm.
through what we went through and allow people to see us bossing up,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
With a smile,
Right.
bossing up, helping other people boss up
Right.
from a broken place or from a wounded place,
A
right?
wounded place. Mhm.
A
Mhm.
wounded place,
Mhm.
right? They'll see us helping everybody else up, but they don't even know the pain, the wounds, the stab that stand behind
Mhm.
all of the
Mhm.
smile, all of the praising and the worshiping. They have no clue until he allows us to say, you know what, my daughter Shelley, the time is now.
Mhm.
The time is now for you to tell somebody, listen, I got married when I was a teenager. Guess what? So did I, Shelley. I was young in the church, and because of the upbringing of the church taught us you don't shack.
There
You
you go.
don't live with the man that you're not married to. You
Mhm.
don't you don't do certain things. So if it made me feel like I need to get married.
Mhm.
So it was
Mhm.
almost like a bill to have sex, right? If
Mhm.
we keep
Mhm.
it real,
That's
right?
right. That's
So
right.
I am a very transparent person. So I went and got married. Yes, I loved my first husband.
Mhm.
I loved him,
Mhm.
but I didn't know what I was doing.
Exactly.
I just knew that I was taught you don't shack up,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So here I am, married at 20, right? Not
Mhm.
knowing how to be a wife,
Mhm.
not even knowing how to be a woman for real,
Mhm.
because my mind was still back in some of the hurt that I experienced as a teenager.
Right.
So we have to be
Mhm.
groomed
Mhm.
even in our wombs
Mhm.
so that we don't end up broken.
So we don't end up broken. So we don't end up
Hmm.
broken.
So
And a lot
I
of times,
mean,
go ahead.
coming off of your book, because I want you to
Mhm.
save that stuff.
Mhm.
We want everybody on this live to purchase this book. I'm serious. We need pre-sales.
Yes. Yes.
We need you
Yes.
to purchase this book
Yes.
because it's real. It's
It's
real.
powerful.
It is so
It's
real.
powerful.
People see us bossing up, but baby, if you only knew the foundation and what this foundation is made of, you see me bossing up. But when I really sit down and have a heart to heart with you to tell you what's in the foundation, then you will understand why I stand firm and I'm confident in knowing who I am today. Because at one point in time, I didn't know. So,
Exactly.
no, my question to you is, can you tell us of a situation that happened that wounded you and made it difficult for you to say, you know what, I'm going to share this?
Right.
Like
Right.
any type of relationship, maybe not the marriage, your family, your coworkers, any.
Um, the situation that I can say that really wounded me, it actually was a marriage. Um, I won't go into deep detail, but I can say this: my first marriage, I can't take anything from him. I had an awesome husband. I got married at
Mm,
19. Like you said, I didn't know how to be a wife, and I was living that image. He was a good man. He was a provider. We started having children together. He was taking care of the children. He was taking care of me. He was older. He was 5 years older than me. Um, and I didn't know how to, I watched people in marriages, but I never really had anybody to kind of like guide me. We didn't do the marriage counseling. This was the 90s. All of this
right.
marriage counseling and going here and doing all these things. This is kind of like the new kind of generational thing. Back then, you went to church, you got married in your
Come on.
church, your pastor
Come
already knew
on.
you. So you just took your family, you walked down the aisle, you took your family, you continue to go to church. If I knew what I knew now, things would be done a lot differently. I went into my second marriage because I was also in the church. I was in the ministry, and no shacking up. My kids, I had my children and everything. So it was, we were starting to live together. And you have to. He was a minister of music, and you had to live up to the
The
standards
standards of the
of the
church.
church. So we walked down the aisle. I knew the marriage wasn't for me. We had a
Mm,
lot of things that conflicted personally, but trying to live right, being that we were starting to live together and in relations together, trying to do the right thing for the church. Went through things that I never thought I would go through, but not wanting to give up because I didn't want to see another marriage fail, but not realizing that I was failing myself because I was losing myself. So at that
mhm.
time, when my children started to tell me, I never thought that you would do these things, or I never thought that you would allow this to happen to you, I never received it. But it had to come from me praying and fasting and seeking God for myself, and and God giving me that right time to walk away. And then I really realized at that point how wounded I really was. But at that time that I waited on God to remove me out of the situation, it also healed me. So I recognized my wounds at the same time that I was healing from my wounds. And it really inspired me, because no hatred, even though I was upset with the situation, no hatred ever came out of it. I still prayed, and I just stood firm in what I believed in. Um, a lot of people, somewhat didn't agree. And then you had a lot of people, because I didn't share anything. So no one never knew what was going on until it all, till the separation happened. But a lot of
Mhm.
times you can't tell everybody everything. I don't care how
Say
close
that.
you are to I'm very close with my mother, but some things you just can't share when you know that at that point in time that you're not going to walk away, because some things that you can share can do more damage than good, because people are going to look at
Exactly.
look at it a certain way, or you don't know how they're going to retaliate with you sharing things. So we hold a lot as women, and I'm not just saying men doesn't do this, but I know as females we hold a lot in for the sake of our children, for the sake of our loved ones, and and we carry a lot, and we wear a lot of hats. And I did a lot in the church. I would get up and speak. He would play for me while I was speaking, and and I put on, I sat beautiful. I sat beautiful. That was my job. I sang on the choir. I led everything that I was asked to lead. Um, I participated. I did my community service. I did everything that I was supposed to do. And I always did it as Happy Shelley, even at
It
work.
felt good.
Yeah, yeah. But, no one knowing all the things that I was really going through. So with those wounds, and even now, with the new still smiling Shelley, it's a different new. Like I feel better. I look better.
Come
And
on, honey.
a lot of
You
times
look
you
better. You
look
look
better.
good, girl. Come on.
So a lot of
Come
times,
on.
we get to the point where we are afraid to admit that we went through some things because we lived in a public image. So we're afraid to admit that we were going through something because everything looked so perfect. A lot of people told me I didn't even know when, I had no clue because it wasn't something that I took on the outside or that I shared. It wasn't for everyone to know because I feel like if a lot of times we share too much, and you got to be careful who you're sharing with because everybody don't have your best interests at heart.
Absolutely. And some people know, like, people know who God has called you to be.
Right,
A lot of
right.
times, people can see the greatness in you before you're even able to
To see
identify
it.
it with
Mm-hmm.
yourself, within yourself. And a lot of times, because of that, they take on this inferiority that if I allow you to find out who you really are,
Right,
right,
right.
then you're going to suppress or surpass me, and now I got to deal with the identity issues that I don't want to face.
Exactly.
So you're right. We have to be careful who we share things with. But at the same time, I'm just understand that God has equipped people, people to be those individuals to help carry you through some of these seasons.
Right,
But
right,
don't allow the people or the assignment that He has placed you on to become their assignment.
right,
And
right.
a lot of times that's where we mess up,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We engage them, we love them because we're naturally loving people, and we start to allow them into spaces and into places that they don't
They
belong
don't
in.
belong. Mm-hmm,
God never gave them the
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
access to be in that place, but because of our emotions and the vulnerability, and we just want somebody to hear us while everybody else is they like flying cars on 50. We got somebody, and we got
Mm-hmm,
somebody that
mm-hmm.
ears inclined. But what are they really inclined to? Are you inclined to help me to excel to the next greater level that God is calling me to, or are you there to be committed to help me stay in a place of stagnation or a place of frustration, right?
Right, right.
So that's good. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's good. And girl, you looking good. Let me just say that.
Thank you.
You looking good. Y'all need to stop acting like your sister don't look good and tell her she look good. Give a sister, give your brother some props. Like, yo, I said, hey, like I ain't never seen, people that's so uptight, like,
Mm-hmm,
girl, you look good.
mm-hmm.
You know how I am, Shelley. So I'm just saying, like, we have to get out of that way. And the reality is that you can be wounded so bad, right, that people not even have the ability to identify
Yes,
who you are
yes.
because the wounds are so
Mm-hmm,
deep.
mm-hmm.
But that does not mean you're wounded beyond repair.
Exactly, exactly.
So I just admire you. I mean, when I first met you, I was like, I like her. She's gonna be my friend. She don't even know. I was like, I like her. Come over here, let's take a selfie. So yes, God is amazing, and ultimately, this is all about inspiring somebody else, letting them know, like, listen,
Yes.
I have dealt with life experiences where I was hurt,
Mm-hmm,
hurt beyond the core hurt, where I wasn't recognizable at one point in time.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But now, baby, now that I can see myself the way God see me, child, listen. Shelley, let me go here. I'm So yes, I am just. I mean, I admire your strength. I say all the time, I thank you for your transparency. And y'all stop playing. Y'all better buy her book. She got some stuff in there. And the reality is that do you not know how many other people are in marriages right now today because the church said it's better to marry than to burn. You
Mm-hmm.
do not shack up. People are in unhappy, unhealthy marriages to this day, putting on a facade like we good over here, all on
All the
Facebook, like
time.
they got, this shiny glass window, knowing that glass is wounded and
Wounded.
they need some help, and they too
Mm-hmm.
prideful to say I need some help.
I
And
need
the
some help.
reality is that we live in a society where society makes us believe that it's okay to be dysfunctional, to be functional
Mm-mm.
in dysfunction. And
Mm-hmm.
that's not true.
Mm-hmm. It's not true.
So, child, listen, come on, talk to me about the hot girl. Yes. Tell me. You can be wounded,
You can be
but you
wounded.
don't have to be
You don't have to be
broken.
broken. You don't have to be broken. Letting people just snatch away things that belong to you. And like I said, even now that when I look back and I think about words that I think my oldest son said to me, he said, "Mom, you would have never let Dad treat you this way." And they were, they're young adults, but they was identifying things, but at the time that I was blinded to, because I was in denial that this was going on. Weight gain going on, just not really caring about family the way I care for family. I always hosted things for my family, was always the go-to person for family. Even that was changing to the point where I started to realize that, certain family members that was always over was like not coming around. So, so much was changing in my life. And I'm just like, this is not me. I've always been, that friendly person, that person that, loved family, that, just was happy, and it was taking my joy. So that's when I knew that, you gotta suck it up, sis, admit what's going on, grab your kids and do what you need to
And
do.
heal.
And
Absolutely.
another thing, as being a young wife, at 19, and at the age now of 40, I was actually 40 when I left, 41 now, but I never have experienced. I make a joke out about it all the time to my friends, and I tell them, this is the first time I've ever had my own bedroom as an adult. So that was another
Mm,
challenge for me. I didn't know how to. I was afraid to step out there and be that person, to have to really do it on your own. But
wow.
not trying to tear up marriages, or my thing is just admitting that things are going on. And when things are beyond repair and it's not of God, then I encourage you to do what you need to do, to get yourself in. Because I've never been so much happier now, even with young adults and everybody home. And, life is wonderful. So the Shelley that you
Right.
see now on Facebook, that's real life. That's real life.
That's the real
That's
deal.
that's that's the real deal. It's I couldn't ask for better. I couldn't ask for better.
So, that's the truth though. Like,
That's the
you know how
truth.
many people are posting, but they're not living what they're posting. Like, I mean, it's real. And
It's a
I
real.
posted today, I said, we are living in a generation, in a day and time where I don't care who say what, if it depending on who it's coming from, people don't receive it, or they like, we gotta check this and make sure it's
Right.
this and this and
Right.
this.
Right.
Wait a minute, but let me just say, and I don't know who I'm going to help with this. Listen, even Shelley or whoever it may be, if God uses Shelley to deliver me, listen, I'm not caring about anything of what Shelley don't got right, what Shelley didn't do. Listen, if my deliverance is in your mouth, please be obedient and speak that thing. If my healing is in your hands,
Yes.
please lay them on me,
Yes. Yes.
Jesus.
Yes.
Because the reality is many people will miss their blessings
Yes.
focusing on what's not right with the person, who they used to be, where they went wrong. The reality is, this morning in my spirit, the topic came to me, tag your it. Every day we
Mhm.
leave our house,
Mhm.
we leave with an expectation. Today is going to be a beautiful day.
Mhm.
Today is going to be amazing. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to put my handprint out on earth and I'm going to touch somebody's life. But you don't know what could happen.
What?
Tag
Mhm.
your it. You don't know what position you could fall into. Listen, the same God that graced you and has said purposed you for for the promised land is the same God that purposed you for the process. And that process sometimes ain't gonna be beautiful.
It's not.
Sometimes you're gonna be riding on a high horse for God to say, you know what? You done got too far, my daughter. You done got too far. I need to bring you back because now you are thinking that you're doing this thing on your own. You can't do it on your own. You can't control what God has given you. And then another thing you said that was key was that you knew, we know when we're in things, when we're doing things that God did not commission for us to be in, and for God did not commission us to deal with. So when we put ourselves in the situation and we're like, what should I do? You shouldn't have did it in the first place, right? So now you've got to walk the process out to get out of what you put yourself in after God told you not to get in it. And it could take some time. But that's time that you're willing to have because you put yourself in it after he spoke to you and said, don't do it.
Don't do it.
And yes, Miss Peters, process is necessary.
Yes.
Shelley, when you came on here and you said those wounds is what makes the story, those wounds, the process is necessary to give you the story. The scratching is significant. The scratching is significant. Imagine going into the gym and you ain't went to work out in 2 years and you jump right on the treadmill and you start running. You better know your body gonna feel like you got hit by a truck the next day, matter of fact, before you leave the gym. So you have to stretch your muscles to prepare your body for the intensity that it's about to receive before you get on the treadmill. The same God has to scratch us during our process to prepare us for us to be able to handle what he's about to release over in the promised land.
And so the healing is in you. Once you admit to your wounds and you allow God to heal you, like I said, you'll feel so much better. You'll feel so much better. And you were speaking a while ago about what people say and like the images, and I was talking about how I didn't want to look bad, and I had to sit pretty, and I had to act a certain way. Some of it was me and some of it was I act because that's what I was supposed to do. And it reminded me, like I said, it all goes back to scripture for me. And I thought of like Moses. Moses was a murderer, but God still used him to bring his people out of bondage.
Oh, that's it.
And it came to me about Abraham. Abraham was a liar. He wanted his wife to lie and say she wasn't even his wife. But God used him to bless many nations, and all of that. And I'm just like, why should I have to put on this facade? Because, I'm in the church, and I'm going to church and I'm supposed to be this, and I'm Minister Shelley, in the church. I'm not Shelley anymore. And they're paying for my schooling and they're paying for this, and, they're paying for me to keep up. And I'm putting on this smile, and I'm not even happy about what I'm doing because I know what I'm walking into when I'm walking out. And we're looking at each other and we're singing and we're praying and together and, in the church, but we're not doing that at home. Or we're getting in the car, or we're driving away in separate cars, and a lot of times people don't even realize what they're seeing until after the story comes out. And then it's like, wow, it was there. It was there. It was always there. It was always there. We was just in denial. And even like think about Peter, like I was, getting up, he denied Jesus, and but God still used him to preach that sermon. So it's just like, we don't have to hide, because it's not about what people see or what people say. They're going to talk about us. They're going to, they're going to abuse us. They're going to try to make us look bad. Even though, we know that we're in line with God, because I wouldn't feel the way I feel if I wasn't in alignment with God. So that right there, like I told my mother, I shared with her, I said, Mom, is something wrong with me? Because this happened in December, and in March, I had still never shed a tear. I said, there's something wrong with me. And I was like, no, I was like, it's healing. That's healing. It's healing. It's healing. I did all my suffering there.
That's so good. You know why? Because people believe, and I just want to say, Healing is not this magic potion, like you get out and immediately it all goes away. Healing is a process.
It is.
Forgiveness is a process.
Yes, yes.
It's not just, oh, I say this and then boom, it's done.
Yes.
It's a process. And God has to work you out through that process.
Yes.
So that when he works you out, once he gets finished working you out, he can allow you to step out proving that you went through your process. You did not break. You did not allow what was wounding you to break you down, to keep you in a place where you continue to pretend, where you continue to show up. Because ultimately, guess what? Someone's blood is required on your hands.
Yes, yes, yes.
Like, oh, if she can do it, I can do it too.
Yes.
So people gotta know the real deal.
The real deal. Yes, yes.
They gotta know that I played the part, and I played it well, but it wasn't me. So in the process of me coming out, in the process of me healing, in the process of me acknowledging the same way God used some of the most jacked up people in the Bible. I am still handpicked and crafted for his use.
That's it.
God, don't get me started.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Hallelujah. And listen, the woman that had the issue of blood, she had that issue of blood for 12 long years.
Yes.
You know, we as women, we bleed for 7 days and we complaining. 12 years? Can you imagine?
12 years. 12 years. 12 years.
12 years did she have the issue? But guess what she did? 12 years. She continued to grow through her process. And I said grow through because when you go through it, you're going through emotions. But when you grow through, you have a spiritual you have a spiritual GPS that lets you know. 12 years may seem long, but baby, it's sure not long when you have a spiritual GPS letting you know. Right turn, down Faith Lane. Left turn, down Blessed Avenue. When you got that spiritual GPS, what seems like a very long time actually is a very short amount of time. Child, I can't take you for 7 days. God only knows what I was
12 years.
12 long, the Bible said 12 long years. But she did not stop. She did not allow the wounds of her ailment to keep her stagnant. She did not allow the wounds of her ailments to keep her stuck. She continued to press forward. She said, I don't care what it looks like. I know in my church we sing a song, whatever it takes, I'm all in. We sing the song, but do we really believe it? Can you imagine leading for 12 years? Never mind 12 years. How about 12 days?
12 days.
I'll be on the phone calling everybody.
Something is wrong.
God, would you pray with me? I don't know if I got cancer. Diagnosed myself. Right? We on Google. Google has told us you can bleed in 12 days. God, your inside already fall out. He was speaking this stuff over our lives. Like it's true, right? We start
it's true. That's true.
And because we speak it, our mind starts to believe it. And because we start to believe it, then we start dealing with anxiety. Then we start dealing with
the depression.
Then we start dealing with all of these other health issues. All because we spoke what Google said. But we bypass God in the process of picking up the phone, going to Google. Never mind Google. I don't need to pick up the phone. Hello, Alexa. Today, I'm having a little bad cramps. My temperature is 101. Alexa, what's wrong with? We don't even have to pick it up no more. We can just speak the word. But God has given us the power to speak to him and say, God, listen, I am bleeding. God, I am hurting. And I'm not talking about a physical bleeding. I'm talking about a spiritual bleeding. God, I am empty. I am bleeding. God, I need you. He said, speak the word.
Yes.
You speak it until you see it. But listen, I know, this is getting good, and I keep going on. So let me calm down.
It's good.
Shelley.
It's good.
Shelley, you know I'm gonna have to bring you back, Shelley. I'm gonna have to bring you back. Listen, if y'all have any questions, please post them comments, share it out. Tell somebody about the Wow Inspired movement. As I said,
Yes.
WOW is an acronym that stands for Wisdom Optimizes Winning. But Shelley, wounded but not broken. I need you to give our viewers, those that will come and listen to the replay, give them some words of inspiration. If they're wounded right now, I need you to give them hope right now. So I'm giving it back to you.
Okay. God wants us, God pretty much wants us to come to him. A lot of times we go into the church and we like I said, we go in with this perfect fit. But the church is actually for the wounded, the broken, the heavy burden. He wants us to come to him for deliverance. And until we seek God, and sometimes we have to seek God, and a lot of people say, well, you got to pray. You got to pray. But sometimes you got to pray and fast, because a lot of times we're blinded with all the things that we're putting into our body. And, I know I was just eating up everything. I was cooking. I was eating everything in sight, and that was what I thought was my peace. It was giving me peace, but actually it was doing more damage. My feet were swelling. I was starting to have, blood pressure issues, things going on with my body doing things that, I never experienced before, having cramps and pains. And I started doing little things, and I started seeking God, and I started fasting, and I did things in private, just between me and him. And he delivered me from a lot of things, even with the way I was eating and the things that I was putting in my body. It takes, sometimes, like I said, it takes other people. It don't take other people to really point out things to you, because God gives it to you first. So it's like when someone speaks it to you, it's confirmation, and it's in alignment with God. So when I know that I'm feeling some type of way, and then you come to me and say exactly the way I was feeling, I know that was God. And sometimes we don't get that through just a regular prayer, or sometimes we don't even like sharing. I could call you up, Shay, and say, pray with me, but I don't want to share with you what we're praying about. But sometimes we have to find that special person that we can trust, just to, lay it all down to, because a lot of times we hold things in, and then we wonder why our chest is hurting, why our face is breaking out, why we're having these headaches all of a sudden, and we're putting it on the kids. Oh, it's because this happened, or such and such did this today at work, and we're sleeping all the time. It's all that signs of depression, and that's not of God. And and I just say, lay it over to him. Find someone that you can trust. And a lot of times, I know, me personally, I didn't reach. I was so heartbroken, and I felt so let down, even by the church, because where I was attending church at, it was basically a family church, but it wasn't my family. It was his family. So, like I said, when I walked away, I was frowned upon. So I didn't feel confident with talking to a pastor, or even a minister, or even people that I knew personally that I could trust. I just didn't feel confident. I was upset. I was mad with everybody. So I actually had to reach out on a different level, and I got myself a life coach. And there's nothing wrong with it. And a lot of times people feel like, as Christians, that we can't seek therapists, or, we can't reach out to life coaches, or actually hire psychiatrists and stuff like that. But sometimes, even dealing with death and things, we have to talk to someone that can understand or help us heal. And when you're healing, and when you do heal, regardless of whether it was the pastor, the bishop, or who, when you heal, that was of God, because that's who God wants us to be. He don't want us to be broken, depressed, confused. So that's what I did. I sought out, and I hired myself a life coach to help me get myself, my business, my mind, my life in general back in line. And sometimes it takes that person from the outside to help you get those things in line, because you already know inside of you what you need to do and what you're supposed to be doing. But sometimes it takes that mentor or that coach to just push you and say, girl, get yourself together. Like, this is not you. This is not the Shelley I know. Let's do this. And someone to pick up the phone or send that text and say, did you do that today? Did you do this today? Did you know? Did you make
Amen.
that phone call? Did you know? Did you go check your blood pressure? Did you make that appointment? Sometimes you just need that person, and it's not always the pastor.
That's the truth. And when will your book be out?
My book will be out around Thanksgiving.
Amen.
You'll start seeing posters probably around October. You'll start seeing posters out. But the book
And
actually will be out in around Thanksgiving.
amen.
Amen.
Congratulations. Congratulations,
I'm
girl.
excited. I'm excited. Who
You
would have ever
should be.
thought?
You should be. You should be. That is a major accomplishment. So I say to you, congratulations. And how can people contact you if they want to speak directly with you? They want to say, "This is my issue, Shelley, and I want to know how you dealt with it."
You can reach me. I'm Shelley Strawberry with an I on Facebook. Shelley Strawberry Johnson on Facebook. And you can also reach me by phone. Send me a text first because I am an educator. So a lot of times I can't get to my phone during the day. School is back in session.
Woo.
443 eight five
So
nine.
you'll
Yeah.
inbox them.
Yeah.
Let
You can
them
do that.
inbox you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, I just want to say again, thank you. And you are absolutely right in all of your closing remarks. Sometimes people just don't know how to pray.
Mm-hmm.
Some people
Mm-hmm.
have a sense of God, but they have yet to come into that place where they're embracive upon their religion or their spirituality. So to tell somebody, go pray or go read the scripture, I don't know how to study. I don't know what I should be studying. I don't know how to pray. So you're right. We do need the extra help. We need other people that is strong. And the Bible says that when you become healed, when you become whole, you go back out and you go help somebody else
Yes.
get
Yes.
healed. You go help
Yes. Yes.
somebody else do that process, right? So it's like, and it says, do it with the spirit of meekness,
Yes.
considering
Yes.
yourself. You once were there. Don't you dare take on a judgmental
Yes.
mindset, a judgmental attitude to frown upon somebody else because tag, you could be it.
Tag.
Next, it could be you. So I just want to say thank you again, Shelley.
Thank you
Listen,
for
y'all
having me.
know Shelley is coming back. If you have not been tuning in, if you are not busy on Saturday, we show up on Wednesdays, 10 p.m. for you, you, and you. This Saturday, we are closing out the Peace and Priority segment with Lady Quanda Renee, who will be speaking to the topic success after failure. If you think that you have experienced failure after failure after
Mm.
failure after failure, if you feel like you're in that place where you don't know when your success is going to come, you want to tune in Saturday because Lady Quana Renee has a testimony that's going to blow your mind. When I got connected with her, I didn't even know who she was. But when I heard her testimony, I said, God, I thank you because you divinely connected me to this woman of God. When you hear her testimony and how God shifted her circumstance, her situation in a matter of days. When I say days, I mean days. So it don't take God years and
Nope.
years and years. Understand you may be wounded tonight, but you're certainly not broken. God has purposed you for a time as this. Your wounds is going to tell a story one day. However, in the process of you growing through, because remember, the next time somebody said, you all right? And you want to say, I'm going through, say, no, girl, I'm just growing through because
Yes.
you
Yes.
GPS. If you do not know what a spiritual GPS is, I urge you to reach out to myself, reach out to Shelley. We are here for you. We are here for you. And there are still ministries that are
Yes.
teaching good word, that are
Yes.
helping
Yes.
us as women to become better moms, better
Yes.
women, better wives, better people, better women of God, right? So
Yes.
just know that we are here for you. Shelley, again, thank you. I
Thank you for
cannot say
having
it
me.
enough. I appreciate your transparency. And y'all stop playing. Buy her book. Make sure you like this page because we're going to share her
Yes.
book flyer to this page and all the details. And Shelley going to tell me if y'all bought a book. Buy a book. So I'm excited. And Shelley, a lot of what you spoke on tonight, we've spoke the different topics in the past. Letting go or losing them to find me. Free from me for me. That was one of the topics we spoke to. God freed me from me so I could find me. He had to get me out
Yes.
my own head. Like he had to get me out of my own ways of thinking so that I could be free for me to show up better for you. So I appreciate you, Shelley. So listen, guys, this is it. We are at the close of this. We went over our time. I appreciate each and every one of you who have tuned in, who have shared this line out, who have supported us as we have been showing up every Wednesday and every Saturday since March. Whoop, 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 whoop. To God be all the glory.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
let me tell you something. We may not feel like doing what we do, but when God has placed you on an assignment, this thing is no longer about us, but this is
Yes.
about Him, that He may be glorified, that someone's life may be touched, transformed, changed, and most importantly, inspired to inspire somebody else. So listen, guys, we love you all. Meet us back here Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to conclude this month's segments of our Peace and Priority series. We are just here to inspire the influence of you. God has called you to do greater. Even if you don't feel that way, you cannot identify what that greater is. Reach out to us. We are committed to helping you to
Yes.
find your purpose. You got things that you love to do. Passion wakes you up, but purpose keeps you up.
Yes.
Passion wakes you up. I wake up every day because there's a love down on the inside of me that I must complete something. I don't know what this something is, but when you're able to identify your purpose at 12 midnight, when your eyes want to fall asleep, when them things get heavy, purpose said, oh no, you're not done yet.
Yes.
You got to complete
Yes.
this thing before you
Yes.
close your eyes. So that if anytime God says, today's the day, Shay, you're going home to be with me, I can say, it is well. Even though many people may hurt, I can say that it is well
As
because
well.
I was walking in my divine purpose. So,
Yes.
guys, again, Shelley, I thank God for every wound that you experienced. I thank
Yes.
God
Yes.
because it was through your wounds that you're able to produce a book that's going to touch
Yes.
many nations.
Yes.
And
Yes.
don't get caught up on the different ones you think are supposed to support you because there is a nation out here
My
that's
God.
waiting to hear from Shelley outside of Somerset County.
Yes.
Do
My
you
God.
understand me? There is a nation that's waiting to hear the testimony that God has allowed you to live, to be able to tell the story that it was no help of your own, that the only person that could bring you out of every single thing that you have encountered, that you have experienced, was nobody but God. So
Nobody.
He allowed you to live, to see it. So I speak now in the name of Jesus that you will travel, you will tell that story, and you will tell it from a place of peace,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You might have
Yes.
wrote it and experienced some pain when you was writing it, but you're going to speak and you're going to tell it from a place of peace.
Yes.
God allowed me to go through a process of pain to only deliver peace to you today. So,
Yes.
guys, we love you all. Shelley, receive it in the name of Jesus.
Yes.
You are
Yes.
going places. We are going to do a collaborative live
Yes.
event. So, God is bringing you out of
Yes.
the
Thank you, God.
shadows and He's letting you know He called you to do more than organize and manage. He called you to be in the front. There is, He wants to use you as a mouthpiece.
Yes, God.
He wants you to be His mouthpiece to touch many other people. So your next is your now because tomorrow
Yes.
ain't promised. So I love you,
Exactly.
Shelley.
Thank you, God.
I love you and thank you again. I love you
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you all for staying on with us. Thank you all for the shares. And again, we show up just to inspire the influencer in you. Have an amazing night.
Good night.